Dandamohena bharata sarvabhutani sammoham sarge janti parantapa. By the delusion of the pairs of opposites arising from desire and aversions, O Bharat, all beings are subject to delusion at birth, O Parantapa. From birth itself, from the beginning of the life itself, everybody is deluded because of the desires and pairs of opposites and this delusive power. And what happens? So nobody can come to me? No, that is not the case. Some people come to me. He says in the next verse, Yesam tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te danda moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrataha. Yesam tvantagatam papam jesantu antagatam papam. But those men of virtuous deeds whose sins have come to an end and who are freed from the delusion of pairs of opposites worship me steadfast in their vows. These are the ways, these are the process, and in the end they come to me by this process. What happens to them? By the performance of good deeds. Be good, do good. This is what Gurudev says. Be good and do good. So it will bring you perfection, purification of your intellect, mind and your senses. By the performance of good deeds, the heart is slowly purified. But when we discuss on purification process, don't forget purification is from manyness to oneness. From adulteration to pure oneness, that is called oneness. That is called purificatory process. In chemistry practical class, they will give some mixtures to the students and they have to separate every ingredient from each other. So this is purificatory process to separate from the composition one by one the ingredients. And this is how the doctors also look at the composition of the medicine and they use for particular disease. Composition is a must, and this is how, if you know it, you can separate everything out and keep the main ingredient as the purified object.
So here it is Deha Indriya Mana Buddhi separation from self.
Of course,
Anatma to
yes, from Anatma to Atma, and Anatma are many, Atma is one. If that is one only, because Atma is used in different meaning in different context. Yes. So sometimes Atma also is multiple. It is changeable. So if that is the Supreme Self, then that is the pure most. That's how the Supreme Truth is called
Nitya Shuddha.
Nitya Suddha. Suddha means pure, ever pure, and never contaminated, never impure, never stained, Niskalank, never stained. So, but those men various men of virtuous deeds whose sin have come to an end. This is the process to become sinless by doing virtuous deeds. By performance of good deeds, the heart is slowly purified. That means becomes steady. Sattva increases. Rajas and tamas are gradually thinned out. The mind becomes serene and calm. Calmness also, these words we have to understand to its inner meaning. Calmness means subtleness, means pureness, purity, means oneness, means steadiness. All these are synonymous terms only.
So should we, from a logical point of view,
Little louder, my dear.
Swamiji, from logical point of view, so this calmness, the value can we have for sublimation of desire?
Again, please.
For calmness,
Yes,
the logical value can we have
can have. What will be the logical value?
less of desireless, less of desires, or sublimation of desire?
Of course, in one way, indirectly it also true. Why not? Desirelessness means oneness, and that also gives the real value. Real value is valuelessness. There is no value. Real value means it values everything together within oneself. That is called real value. Or else our relative value differs and changes. Relative value is totally different from real value. Real value never changes, so we cannot say it to be a valued something. And relatively everything changes, so the value changes, so the meaning changes, everything changes. So indirectly we can say calmness means, oneness means, valuelessness means all the value. Any way you can take it. But the oneness should not be forgotten from our mind. One is at the end. At the end of the day, we reach one.
That is the pointed. Guruji, sin has come.
अरे यार क्यों गुरुजी बुला करके शर्माना कर रहे हो यार. गुरुजी तो चले गए, हमारे बीच में नहीं रहे. अच्छा चलो बोलो.
Sin has come to an end. इसका मतलब संचित और प्रारब्ध कर्म खत्म हो गया मतलब?
No, no. We cannot take in that way. You are sinless means you can do good deeds also, by the result of which you can get to Swarga of different kinds, different looks, different heights, and then again it will be pushed back. So it is not end of the prarabdha. It cannot be. Sinless means not actionless.
Okay. Result of action.
Yes. So here we are talking of good deeds. There is some prarabdha and there is some effort, and you are doing something. By the performance of good deeds, the heart is slowly purified. Sattva increases. Rajas and tamas are gradually thinned out. The mind becomes serene and calm. That also means sinlessness. Sin means which creates restlessness in the mental waves.
Agitation.
Yes, agitation. You cannot cheat yourself. Your chitta is aware of everything. So it cannot keep quiet. It knows you have done something wrong. Our chitta is nobody else other than the Chitragupta of Yamaraj. Yamaraj is, Yama means controlling, and death god means time. Kala means time, and time knows everything, and that also all the impressions, whatever you do, whether openly or hidingly, everything, all the impressions are there in the chitta. So how can it forget it?
Hard disk.
Hard disk. Memory chip.
Memory.
It cannot be deleted. Of course, sometimes some virus.
There no virus.
Yes.
So from a relative point of view, should we understand this prana also as a desire?
Prana also?
As a desire?
Desire.
Should we understand?
Achha. If you try to understand it, what does it matter to me? Prana means activities without purpose, without any motive, without any goal. There will not be any actions. Prana means chesta. So it should be motivated by some desires, or if not desires, some sankalpas. Prana and mind, they are inter-reacting and inter-cooperating, interacting, interdependent, everything. One is the other is the one. Without mind, prana cannot work. Without prana, the mind is not there. So mind means action. Mind means action and reaction. The prana also will have some desires or something, then only it can move. Desireless means steadiness. Finally. So, the little self-arrogating personality slowly dies out. Arrogance, ego-supported identity, self-arrogating personality slowly dies out. You grow in spirituality, the divine flame becomes brighter and brighter. The small little oil lamp blows like Petromax or the halogen light. It gets brighter and brighter. You become impersonal. There is loss of personality, ego, or vyaktitva, or individuality. Sin, to forget one's identity with the Supreme Soul, is the greatest sin. Here we remember Swami Chidananda Maharaj used to say always, this is his pet sentence, शरीर को मैं मानना सबसे बड़ा पाप है और ये पाप सारे पापों का बाप है. To identify yourself with my body is the greatest sin, and this sin is the great grandfather of all the sins, the origin of all the sins. Atmanastu kamaya sarve priyam bhavanti. For the self, for the sake of self, self means here the body with all the senses, the whole identity as a whole body. For the body's sake only everything becomes dear to you, my dear. If the body is not there, no work you have to do. All the actions, good or bad, and mostly bad. Of course, good actions are done only to favor the body, to have some happiness for the body's sake only. Nor there will be any, or else there will not be any need of doing anything, good or bad. So if for the body's sake, now we can have the another question. For body's sake, if we need some pleasures, say why not people do good actions, why do they do bad actions and occur sins? Why? If it is only for body's sake, so why do they perform some actions which are anti to the body? It brings pleasure, pain to the body. Why do they do so? The thing is, इच्छा द्वेष समुद्रेण द्वंद्व मोहेन भारत सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहम यान्ति. By the force of desires, by the force of dualistic pairs of opposites, by the force of ego, they are deluded. And they get deluded to do what good for the body and bad for the body. They don't are able to decide what is good and what is bad, because you know when one gets to the anger or greediness or desires, kama, krodha, kama esa, krodha esa, rajo guna samudbhava. They are the real foes. They bewilder you and they take away from the real path. This is how we don't know what is good for us and what is bad for us. The intellect, of course, works up to some extent. If it is impure intellect, it will not do the favorable actions. And if it is pure, then also it will only do good things which causes bondage to us. Of course, when the discrimination dawns, then only one can find out what is real and what is unreal, and then only one goes upward and progresses in the path of spiritual practice. Yes,
Guruji, a man once told Buddha, I want happiness.
yes,
Buddha replied, first remove I, ego, remove want, desire, all you are left with is happiness. So true.
yes. This I is a
Any
body only. Don't forget this. This I what is to be conquered over or to be denied, that is called body. Body I. And this is the root cause of all our sinful actions.
reasons.
Sin, to forget one's identity, forget one's identity with the Supreme Soul is the greatest sin. To see difference in is sin. To see difference is the sin. Difference means two. Dualistic vision itself is the starting of doing sins. And that is how I am not the reality, I am the body. And then starts all the sins. To take the body as the self, to believe that this world is real is sin. Selfishness is sin. Egoism is sin. Ignorance is sin. See, the root sins, the root cause of all the sins. Don't forget all these. To forget one's identity with the Supreme Soul is the greatest sin. To see difference is sin. To take the body as the self is sin. To believe that this world is real is sin. Selfishness is sin. Egoism is sin. Ignorance is sin. Because of ignorance only we do all the wrong things. And you know, in medical science, spiritual medical science, philosophy,
Holistic.
yes, they say ignorance is the cause for all the diseases and all the problems of the body and the mind. The diseases are two types. They are mental and physical, and both are caused by the ignorance. Lord Buddha, having enlightened, when he declared Buddhoham, after that to do some loka sangraha. Whatever he did, it is only for the good of others. What did he do? He didn't distribute food to the hungry, clothes to the nude. Never he did so. He did social work, but in what way? He gave only understanding to the people, right understanding. That's how Buddha's eightfold path is right thinking, right speech, right doing, right conduct, all these right eightfold righteous deeds. That is Buddha's path, eightfold right ways. And that's how He distributed only knowledge to eradicate misunderstanding and ignorance, so that the whole world will be diseaseless. When he was not Buddha, he was Gautam.
Principle.
He had feeling for the whole world. Sometimes he will get up from the dream and shout, "Oh, don't shout. I am coming to your help. I am coming to your risk. Wait, I am coming." He will shout like that. That means that much feeling he had for others. People are suffering. The whole world is suffering. Kabir Das said, कोई तन दुखी, कोई धन दुखी, कोई मन से रहे उदास. 3 ways. कोई तन दुखी, physically is suffering. कोई धन दुखी, wealth-wise somebody is suffering. कोई मन से रहे उदास, somebody is depressed by the mind, in the mind. कहा कबीर सारा जग दुखी, सुखी एक रामदास. कहा कबीर सारा जग दुखी, सुखी एक रामदास. One is happiest man under the sun, who has surrendered himself to the Almighty. All these great beings, they realized this only. Directly, indirectly, by any language they expressed it, but the subject is same. To do good, to be good, to do. Tena tyaktena bhunjitha magriddha kasvasvidhanam isavasyam ijad idagum sarvam. Whole world is his and he and his. So you are nowhere. If at all you enjoy something, let it be shared with others and then enjoy it. Don't have covetous eyes upon others' properties. So this way, all the great people, all the scriptures have pointed out this same thing, one thing only. And this is how these are the root cause of sins, and these are called sins. To forgetfulness of the Supreme Soul, and to have different visions, differentiating in things, difference in the objects, that is seen. To take the body as I, misunderstanding is sin. And to believe this world to be true is sin. Selfishness is sin. Egoism is sin. Ignorance is the greatest sin. So when one is out of sin, yesam tvantagatam papam, whose sins are ended, antagatam, they have attained to the end. Punya karmanam, by doing righteous deeds. Te dvanda moha nirmukta, having get rid of these pairs of opposites. They worship me, they come to me, with steadfast mind. They never shake from their faith. Steadfast in vows. The man steadfast in vows attains a firm resolve. I must realize the self now. I will not budge an inch from my seat till I attain self-realization. Buddha said it. Mantram va sadhayat, shariram va patayat. Either I'll do or die. Do or die. This is called willpower. This is called steadfastness in the mind. I will not budge an inch from my seat till I attain self-realization. He has the firm conviction that Brahman is the only reality. This world is unreal. It is like a mirage. I can attain immortality and eternal bliss if I realize this self only. There is not an iota of happiness in these sensual objects. Therefore, the Lord says, those persons of pure deeds worship me steadfast in vows, steadfast in their undertakings, vows, promises. Ramji said, रघुकुल रीति ऐसी चली आई, प्राण जाई वर वचन न जाई. Once said, once taken the vow, let the life go. No shaking from the vow, from promise. That is the steadfastness. Now, you will look at the clock. Anyhow, jara maran mokshaya mamashritya jatanti ye te brahma tad viduhu krishnam adhyatmam karma chakhilam. Those who strive for liberation from old age and death, to get rid of old age and death, birth and death, taking refuge in me, realize in full that Brahman, the whole knowledge of the self and all action. The knowledge of the self and knowledge of the all action, how do you know? Adhyatam karma cha akhilam. How do they understand actions? This we shall see very elaborately. How karma is understood means it is Brahman. How? If the karma is understood, then it becomes the Supreme Self, how it is. There are some subtle points, we don't go to such depth always. This we shall see. Those who strive for liberation from old age and death, taking refuge in me, realize in full that Brahman, the whole knowledge of the self and all action. If you know what is action, then you will know the self also. How it is? Indirectly he says, if you know the action, you cannot do the action. That is what we always say. Yes means no, no means yes. The window means door, the boy means old man. The opposite has to be understood. Action means actionlessness. Action is the work of, action means unsteadiness, movement. That is called mind also. The synonymous terms for mind is action and reaction. Mind is prana, mind is time, mind is space, mind is world, mind is everything. All these words are only synonymous terms for the mind only. Mind means unsteadiness, basically. And no mind means steadiness. That is called meditation by yogic terms. No mind means meditation. Steadiness, meditation.
Mindful?
No mind.
Mindful?
Pardon?
Mindful, they say.
Mindful. Mindful means no mind. You have to understand. Mindful means when mind attains the fullness. What is the identity? What is the you see, क्या कहते हैं परिभाषा
Paribhasha, technical term.
definition. What is the definition of fullness? Have you got any definition for full? Limitless. No definition. Full means full. No definition. So mind where becomes limitless, that is one with the absolute, then it is called full. Let it be full or let it be FOOL full. It is all the same. There is no mind. There is no mind. Meditation means no mind. That should be firmly hold in the mind. Mind should understand that my death is reality. Action, if you understand, action means movement, action means unsteadiness, on the basement of steadiness. So when there is no action, if you understand action, you cannot do any action. You get that steadiness. So that is called absolute self. Knowledge means comparative knowledge. It is thorough knowledge, analytical knowledge, experiential knowledge. They attain to the full knowledge of the self or perfect knowledge of Brahman. They attain to the Bhuma or the highest. Bhuma means it has got so many meanings. Bhumanand. Bhuma means which is all pervading, which is continuous, which is perfect, which is ever present, that is called Bhuma. So the highest or the unconditioned, Bhuma means unconditional. They attend to the Bhuma or the highest or the unconditioned. All their doubts are totally destroyed. Chiyante tasya karmani nasyanti sarva sansaya. What is that? Tasmin rishte paravare. Chiyante sarva karmani tasmin rishte paravare. Nasyanti sarva sansayaha. All the doubts are dissolved, as it were, and by seeing that, by knowing that absolute, no doubts, no actions can ever be seen. They are dissolved forever. So this is what is called Bhumanand, and that is called actionlessness. So when you understand the action with its true nature, then that is no action at all. Action is a relative term only, a comparative term, a degree only. Yes, it is nothing there. Just as we were understanding in we were analyzing in our Yoga Vasishtha class, temperature means heat, also means cold and heat both together. So the sun and moon is under the measurement of temperature. Where heat is zero, the cold starts. That means when heat dies, the cold takes birth, it gets rise. And this is how our equator, 0 degree of the earth, northward go on increasing your altitude, and southward also go on increasing, and of course not the longitudes. Altitudes are always degrees only. So 0 degree at equator and slowly go on, then you reach 90 degree on the poles, North Pole and South Pole. This is how it is only difference in degrees, whether southward or northward, whether heat-wise or cold-wise, only degrees difference. Similarly, action and no action, only in degrees of steadiness. All their doubts are totally destroyed. They fully realize now all is Vasudhaiva, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, Samahatma Sudurlabha. All indeed is Brahman. There is no such thing as diversity. There is no dualism at all. Jatra jatra manojati tatra tatra paramritam. Wherever mind goes, it turns to be only nectarian bliss. There is no action. Mind of course travels, but it gets transferred every moment. it loses its identity. They are not reborn here and have thus conquered old age and death. Jara marana mokshaya. Moksha means liberation or freedom. Freedom from jara and maran. Jara is old age or uh, yes, that is incapable, inability of the body, jara. Jara means just to get क्या कहते हैं वो old age of course jara old age means incapability of state
Resistance. No resistance.
yes scorning away to get slowly decay jara maran death to get rid of these which is cause of all our miseries. They are not reborn here and have thus conquered old age and death. They are liberated here and now, here and now, here and now. So tomorrow we shall see further, not more. If you enter to this, then you will look at the clock. Anyhow, thank you. Sadhi bhutadhi daivamma sadhi yagyam chaje viduhu prayana kale pichamamte vidur yukta chetasa. He has brought this prayana kala at the end of the life, at the time of departure. So next chapter we shall talk of departure. Now he has given the best background for the next chapter, 8th chapter. So tomorrow we shall see it, the last sloka of this 7th discourse. Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. Sachidananda Bhagavan ki jai. Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Gita Mata ki jai. Hari Om.